Good morning, students. We are in the last session of Unit 3 of Business Studies, where we will be discussing about what are all the consequences of government changing making a new economic policy in 1991. In the previous sessions, we have understood about what is business environment. Then I told you the importance of business environment. We went further to understand the dimensions of business environment, social, legal, technological and all those things. And then we understood that in amongst the dimensions, economic dimension is very important. Under the economic dimension, there was a very important historic event that happened in the business history of India, that is the 1991 economic crisis, where the new economic policy was framed. And under that we had liberalization, globalization and privatization. We commonly refer to it as LPG. Now we will try to understand how this had an impact. What was the impact of government policy on business and industry? Had we done this before, that mixed result would not have happened. We must have had a majority of positive result. Now let us understand what kind of result happened after that. What was the impact of government? After the economic policy, what happened? We saw during the period of 1947 to 1991 what was the state of Indian business. Totally very pathetic. There was no encouragement given to entrepreneurs or private enterprises. A majority of business was undertaken by public sector, which was a disaster, and later disinvestment was made. So now we will try to understand what happened after the economic policies, that is after the LPG came into effect. The policy of LPG under the government has made a significant impact on the working of the enterprises. So after LPG, what happened is, first one, increasing competition. Yes, we understood the pulse of competition, especially in service sectors like banking, telecommunication, internet and all those areas where Indian firms had to face competition with foreign firms. I told you earlier that Indian people were much more capable but discouraged from doing business. However, when they were given enough encouragement and freedom in doing the business, what happened is they had to face competition from foreign markets that were technologically very advanced. So we had a tough time, but we definitely fought a better war and we challenged them with our products. We are significantly improved now. Today we cannot say that Indian products are substandard. We can proudly boast of the products that we are having. Made in India is now what we are realizing, that the quality of the product is very much fine and good. Right? So, which were most of the sectors like insurance, telecommunication, airlines, banking and all, only government banks, nationalized banks were there. But now we have corporate banks coming up which are doing, so most of the businesses that were there under the government control, after disinvestment and after private people started to participate, they faced competition with foreign market, and even within the Indian domestic market also there was competition. Competition enables improvement. And ultimately, who is going to get benefited? Customer. Right? More demanding customer. Yes. Today, earlier, the customer was like, Jo mil raha hai, wahi sahi hai. Because there was no choice, na government, monopoly was there. The Monopolies Act also was passed in 1980, but still, competition factor was not there because there was lack of encouragement towards business. But now what happens, because you encouraged business, too many people are doing business. Now the customer has wider choice, which one to buy. If I go for a shampoo product, there are variety. If I go for a cosmetic toilet soap, then there is a lot of variety. If I go for any kind of snack, chips or namkeen, lots of variety. So this variety enabled the customer in a better position to demand more. I want better than the best. Customer slowly became the king in Indian market. The increased competition in the market gives the customer a wider choice. I have more choices. I can choose better than the best. I can choose something that is suitable for me. Right? I don't have to depend, only one is there. Whether you like it or not, you have to do that only. Like Indian Railways. No, it is not like that now. In most categories or most sector, we are having a choice of choosing. Now, rapidly changing technological environment. This is one. The word that is used in your textbook is turbulent. Turbulent means fast. Just in a microsecond, everything is changing. So, technologically, we are updated today. Had we not opened up in 1991, to the global world, the globalization did not happen at that time, we would have been still living 30-40 years back. Right? Increased competition, develop new ways to survive and grow in the market. New technology make it possible for improving machines, for improving the process, for improving the products, for improving the services. Technology has enabled. Believe me, in the absence of technology, during this COVID lockdown, this class also is a joke. It would not have happened. right? Those classes are continuing because of advancement in technology. So this advancement of technology that is there, that we are enjoying today in India, is because of the LPG policy that was done in 1991. Now, necessity for change. Necessity is the mother of invention, they say. Unless you are put in a difficult situation, the best of you doesn't come out. So you are put for in 1991, the market sources became so turbulent, as a result of which enterprises had to continuously modify. In the previous government before 1991, the policies were very stable. So I did not have a great impact about the business dimensions. The social dimension, legal dimension, कुछ भी change नहीं होता था. 5 साल पहले कैसा था वैसा ही है. So there's not great change, but now every day there is a change. The stock market is going up, coming down, technical changes, economical changes, environmental changes, so many changes are happening. So the managers are put in a position to be very proactive and adapt themselves according to the external changes. These changes were quite stable before 1991. After 1991, the rapid changes in all the environments, the legal environment, so many laws were amended after that. So that changes we are adopting. So necessity, earlier we can say that lethargy, kya hota, kuch bhi nahi hota, we can do it relaxedly. But now you cannot relax in business. Competition is growing. The need for developing human resource. This one is very important. I told you that before 1991, there were a lot of problems between trade union and Indian entrepreneurs. Lockdowns, shutdowns, and so many things happened. Industrialization, the negative part of the industrialization was prevalent or dominant in India. But now you will find very less of it. Right? Today we are finding very less of it. Indian enterprises have suffered along with inadequate trained personnel. And also one factor is that academically or educational, the Ministry of Education was focused more on BA literature, on courses that are more into literature and art forms. But now we have lots of courses that are into bringing out the best of your expertise. You have more wider choice of education also. So because of which we are getting more trained people. The MBAs are coming out with maximum management capabilities and able to handle and bring about a good relationship between the businessmen and the workers. So the middle management is much more capable now than what it was before. Right? So their new market conditions require people with higher competence, greater commitment, and hence there is a separate department called HR. I'll tell you when I'm teaching there is a lesson for staffing for you, I'll be telling you that before 1991, there was nothing called human resource department in our country. We did not have a HR department only. We had something called personal department that had everything. Accounts is personal department, finance is personal department, HR, everything in one department only. But after that only, after 1991 only, we saw that how companies are working abroad, how they are departmentalizing or dividing the work, and how significantly they have a lot of knowledge and management expertise, we adopted. So the question of developing human resource also happened at this time, right? Then market orientation. So long ago, how before 1991, most of the firms when they were doing production or manufacturing, they used to produce first and then go to the market for sale. I used to manufacture according to my intention, then I will go to the market and sell the product. Right, but here it is reverse. First marketing team will work. First understand the customer, understand what he likes, then produce. You know why? Otherwise your competitor will produce a product that is more likely to be accepted by the customer. So thereby what happens? You lose events. So if you want to win, satisfy the customer. To satisfy the customer, first understand what are his needs and wants. This concept came in India after 1991. Just imagine. Till then we were having whatever is available, right? So here in other words, they are production oriented marketing operations. In fast changing world, there is a shift from market orientation. That is, I will talk to the customer first, I'll try to do a market survey and market research, understand the likes, dislikes, preferences, choices, needs and wants of customer, and then manufacture the product, right? I have to analyze the market first and then produce the goods. Earlier it was produce the goods and dump it to the customer whether he likes it or not, because he doesn't have a choice. But now there is choice. Now there is wider market. So thereby the customer wants to, he is more demanding now. Thereby, first I will understand the customer and then manufacture the product. I am giving you one good offer in this. This is a very light topic. In between I am stopping the session. I am giving you a very good thing that if you put the subheadings for this, that is more than enough. I don't want you to chalk down the notes. Just put the subheadings. That's more than enough. Okay? Right. Now, loss of budgetary support to public sector. Yes. And now, because most of the public sector enterprises were got disinvested, the budget allocation was now focused more on improving the roads, improving the bridges, improving the infrastructure, improving the Indian relationship, or improving the standard of living of people. Because now I don't have to allocate money for separately for business. All the businesses are now taken, majority of the business are now taken care by private enterprises, and they are doing fantastically fine compared to the horrible state in which it was during government enterprises, when it was under the control of government. A lot of disinvestment happened, whereby the burden of carrying out business was transferred from public sector to private sector. There was a role reversal. Due to this role reversal, what happened, in budgets we didn't have to allocate a separate amount for this public sector. Only few entities were kept under public sector, and that had to be maintained. Right? The public sector undertakings have realized that in order to survive and grow. Now, one more thing also happened here. Public sector enterprises were given a challenge that if you don't perform for within another 3 years, you will be disinvested. So then what happens, the pressure is there, they are trying to perform better. Whatever amount they are getting under the budget for continuing their production activities, they will do it in such a way that they are able to compete with the customer. Now the customer is to make a choice whether he will buy a public sector enterprise product or a private sector enterprise product. So whichever is having a better quality, he will buy, because he has wider choice. Thereby the public sector is under pressure. They can't do red tapeism, they can't do lethargy, they can't postpone things. Right? And they will have to be more efficient and generate their own resources for this purpose. This was one important, because there was a lot of chaos and lot of problem in the country, where many people or government employees stood against this decision of the government, where the government said that if you don't perform your profits, based on your profits only your increments will be decided or your funding will be decided. So thereby they became really violent, because all these years they have been spending, a major chunk of that population was lethargic. Now they were put in a position to buck up and then work very hard. So due to this situation, what happened is they have to generate and work more efficiently to manufacture goods that are suitable according to the consumers' needs. So what and all did we see today? What is the impact of this decision we should have taken somewhere in 1950 itself. Today India would have been a different scene. Fine, never than late. 1991, what happened? We did a new economic policy under which we brought in globalization, liberalization and privatization. What is the impact of it? The impact of it is, number one, competition increased. Number two, customer had wider choice. Number three, budgets need not be allotted for the public sector enterprises. The profits of public sector enterprises, the condition was kept that public sector enterprises should perform so efficiently that the profit should enable them to earn for their survival. Right? Then market dimensions, there is turbulent market came, where there was a lot of changes in the dimensions of business environment. Earlier it was stable, and all the economic policies were, most of the dimensions of business, social, legal, technical, all those were very stable. But after 1991, they drastically started to change. And competition, of course, it improved us, it made us better. So all these good impacts are there. If for this topic alone, if you only prepare, I am repeating, if you only write the subheadings for this, more than enough. Okay? Thank you and have a fantastic day.